Have you seen that replay, buddy?
All right, man, I'm done talking to you.
You can't be done talking to me. You're right here facing me.
I back. Trust me, I back.
Damon! 60 G's, baby! But I'm not impressed by your performance.
It's normal. Come on, guys. It's normal.
You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing.
I'm the man of the hour, Joe. Too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet. I'm the women's pick. I'm the men's regret. And if you win against Chael Sonnen, you made a bad bet.
I don't have much left to say other than you have seen nothing yet.
What's happening, Fight Week Show fans, Fight Week Show people? Then we are back with another episode of Dust Stop Shakedown, and two of my bros are here to help me break down this week's MMA news in the combat sports world. And doing that with me tonight is my boy, back from paternity leave, or paternity leave, shall I say? Not maternity. You look like a mom earlier on, but paternity leave. not the rambling mom, rambling dad.
Talking about that mama's milk.
You know, yo, bro. Yeah, man. Inside joke, people.
And just a correction, he's not back. He's still on it.
Boom. See, this man knows.
He's back on the show. He's back on the show with it. You know what I mean? He's back on the show with it. You know what I mean? Serious. He's off his paternity leave. As far as the show's concerned, we're still on paternity leave, but he's back here today to help us break down some of the news content in the MMA world. Salute to you, McDane. Big up yourself. Thank you very much for pulling up, brother. And how's new father's life been treating you, my bro?
It's good, bro. We're settling in quite well. That's the baby 3 weeks old today. So, I mean, the other little one's very excited to become a big sister. She's loving her. So, just settling into the new routine. You boys know how it goes. Your dads have a little bit more experience than me, so you know the old drill. Yeah, I mean, but it's going good. Loving it. Man.
Yeah, that's
and
good,
to be honest with you, the sleepless nights don't hit as hard the second time round as they did the first time round. I think your body gets a little bit used to it. Yeah, I mean, the only difference is now when one wakes up, it wakes up the other one, and they come through too. And then you're like, oh shit, now I've got two to handle. But other than that, it's all gravy.
I mean, with the run that you've had now, after the the big sister, right? The run that you've had now, just watching countless hours of fucked up hours of MMA content over here in the UK. Sleepless nights really ain't gonna be a thing for you, really, is it? You know what I mean? Like,
it's like doing a Saturday, but every day.
exactly. It's water off the duck's back, man. You know what I mean? Things. Yeah, man. Yo, how you doing, my bro? Hope you're doing good. You well?
I'm well, thank you. Amazing. Good to have you back, McDane. I like your Christmas tree.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much.
As always, salute to everyone that's listening.
See, a man of culture down there. A man of culture.
Why you taking subtle shots? Why you taking
multiculture?
Why you taking subtle digs, Yao, man? You just stepped into the show, man. I know what you did there, Yao. You know what I mean? That's another inside thing. We're gonna leave it at that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't nobody want to know what I said about that tree there, man. You know what I mean?
I don't nobody want to know what I said about Owen's tree.
Wait, Ola has a tree? Where?
Oh, it is back garden, bro. See it.
No. Hey, listen,
Billy Goat.
My tree's in my ashtray, bro. You know, that's where my tree stays, man. My ashtray. You get me? Yes. But yeah, there's been a few things that's been going on in the world of the MMA. Salute to everybody that's locked in with us right now, whether you're watching us on live, whether you're watching us on playback. You know what I mean? You might be watching on X, you're watching on some of the other platforms. Please make sure you're following these guys on their platform. Kick them in the head. We got the Rambling Dad, Making a Walk, S-Dogs MMA, Crossover. Make sure you're showing love to all our people, them. You know what I mean? Salute to every single one of you. And if you're watching on X, as numbers getting up, please jump in the live chat on YouTube. Come and show some love, man. You know what I mean? We are approaching that very last card of the year. And my Dane must be feeling very comfortable at this point, knowing that he's untouchable up there in the table.
I don't know about untouchable, bro. George's only 1 point behind me at this point, and there's two cards left. Yeah, I mean,
Bro,
there's time for me to slip into second place still. Yeah, I mean, like
you've been moving on. You've been moving untouchable, man. I think you're gonna see it out. You know what? I was near there today, thinking to myself, God damn, I can't believe this brother done pulled it out of the fire, man. Like there's 1 or 2 cards left to go, and he's still sitting in first place. But well done to you, man, to hold it for as long as you've done, man.
All about consistency, brother. It's not my. I didn't want to say it, but you did kind of pull a Liverpool there, didn't you? I mean, I'm going to start calling you Slippy G.
Are we really going to go there?
I've got to have something in my pocket after yesterday, bro.
Really
I was like, this man's going to bring something up. You know what I mean?
I didn't really want to go there tonight, but you opened the door and I will enter it.
Oh no! The door shut. It's closed.
We're both feet. You already opened the door, man. It's just
McGregor's lawyer below us is like asking for ID at the door, bro. You look too young.
Listen, he's my bodyguard. He's coming through the door with us. Trust me on this one, man. After the 2-0 you held yesterday, man, I will come back and touch on that later on. You know what I mean? But we have more important matters to talk about, right? And I wanted to start with this one here, being that we have a South African constituent here, somebody that is real close to Dricos, knows what's going on over there. He's got his pulse on the temperature, what's of what's going on over there in at CIT in South Africa MMA. And Hamzat was out and was seen in this competition with Arman Sarukian. People, take a look. And big shout out to MMA Talk. Go and check them out. They are the source of our video. We're going to leave the link in the description for you guys to go and follow. But check this out, people. And big up my boy, all in the chat there. Salute to you, my bro. Big up yourself. Here we go.
Full footage of Arman Sarukian wrestling with Hamzat Chimaev gets released. Chimaev took on Sarukian during the filming of Hype Reality 3, which has been branded as Russia's version of The Ultimate Fighter. The two were coaching opposite one another on the show and took to the cage to show off their skills in a friendly grappling exchange. With both men being top contenders in their divisions, there has been interest in seeing the full sparring session between Hamzat and Arman. Before Hamzat's dominant win over Robert Whittaker at UFC 308, footage leaked showing a few seconds of the action between the two. But now, a full video has been released, with many viewers noting that Hamzat was able to use his significant natural size advantage to assert control.
Я буду стараться защищаться, не дать себя задушить, так как это просто submission only. И из-за этого я буду просто работать вторым номером. Ну, если, конечно, подхватится такой момент, что я где-то могу задушить, поймать шею, то я воспользуюсь им.
Ты боролся с
Хамзатом, конечно.
Как? Есть шанс?
Что-то сделать, задушить точно нет.
Его задушить нет шанс?
Ну, задача отстоять просто. Он огромный, его перевести тяжело.
Что не соглашаться, парень не весом ниже меня, и в борьбе, скорее всего, сам Арман, наверное, знает, какой у нас уровень.
Ну что, сейчас начинается схватка. Хамзат Чимаев против Арман Сарукян. Погнали. Все, поехали.
Мотор, камеры все.
Закрой, закрой.
Когда будешь, одна камера
Для меня был сюрприз, что Арман согласился на это и захотел со мной бороться на камеру. Был уверен, что я так и выиграю, и так получилось.
Before you say
Unbelievable.
All I can say is Hamzat had his balls all over the back of Arman Sarukian's head. Like, I'm sure he just felt like he just slapping the back of his head.
Bro, I was gonna literally talk about how heavy that sprawl was, but now we're gonna talk about whatever he just mentioned.
Decking the
I
balls. Put it on the Christmas
he was
tree.
facing the other way. Hello.
Yeah.
But at one point we had a shout out to John Gooden. We had John Gooden on the channel, and he told us how he went to have a little bit of training, grappling training with Hamza. And he's not a fighter. We know he's not a fighter. You know what I mean? Even though he trains with fighters all the time. Crossover MMA over there in Watford. Salute to those guys over there. Crossover MMA, right? These guys, right? He said he felt like Hamza had his life in his palm. Like it could just squash it like that. And seeing what he done there with somebody as well versed in the grappling department of mixed martial arts, right? Obviously, Hamza is a much bigger fight. Like I said, he's surprised that Arman even agreed to do this on camera. But in your opinion, Yao, right? Knowing how strong, because while all of that was going on, I'm thinking Sydney or wherever this fight with Dricus is going to take. I'm not even looking at what's Arman there. Forget Arman, because Arman done already said himself, I'm just going to try and survive. My job here is to try and survive. If I get a chance to choke him, then I might take it. But my job here is to survive. So he knew what the assignment was. Right. But Yao, in your opinion, right, the more you've seen of Hamza and how sharp he's looking and how regular he's staying in the fight in the fight game, because he does take a lot of break, especially since from before the Whittaker fight. How are you looking at what's going on here with Hamza and when it comes to Dricus? Because it's I know you guys got the champion over there, and we love Dricus for it, but is there anything that worries you? What just seeing what Hamza has been doing lately, and in the MMA world, what do you think?
Hello, Viet Ni, bat ons Viet Ni. So I hear you saying Hamza has been very active, etc. But if we look at his injury and fight cancellation record, honestly, anything can happen between now and when he actually gets the chance to fight Strickland.
This is true.
For all accounts, right now it's looking like it might go to Strickland. It's heavily in the balance. But doing things like taking on an Ultimate Fighter over there is the sort of things that get you injured to not get the Dricus fight. So I'm not really worried about him being active. For me, him being active is actually him saying he doesn't want the fight because he's going to get injured. But in terms of what he's been doing, look, he's looking sizey, but Dricus is still bigger. It's middleweight. He's come up from welter. Dricus would probably go up to light heavyweight later on, not go down to welter. So if you're looking at the size difference and what Hamzat just did to Arman, because of the size, I would think it would go a similar sort of way that, yes, Hamzat might be that great, but Dricus has just got that extra strength. And everyone that's fought him has said that. If you look at what he did to Israel, it's just this weird, sudden strength that just appears. And I don't think Hamzat will be able to take that. And Dricus will still definitely beat him. So for me, I'm not really worried about what I'm seeing from Hamzat right now. Mm-hmm. Especially him dunking his balls in the back of Arman.
Yeah, I see what you're saying in terms of him coming from welterweight and going to middleweight. Big up Aussie fight fan. Salute to you, Raj Paul Vike. Who big up yourself, my bro?
What's happening, boys? Thanks for joining.
Big up on yourself, man. Thank you very much for pulling up. The thing that I wanted to ask as well, before I go up to McDane, right, is you made a point earlier on that Hamza's coming from 170, right? Coming into 185. So, but Dricus is only going to go up. He's not going to go down to 170. But we also heard from people like Alexander Gustafsson saying, man like Hamza was ragdolling him in them weight classes while he was at 205. Maybe even at near enough heavyweight level, right? That's what they were saying, at least from those guys. I don't know. I'm just saying what he's saying, right? So do you think the size of Dricus really faces Hamza in that way?
So if I look at specifically Gustafsson, he's a boxer. So if you want to take a boxer, even if they're bigger, they're still going to struggle with a very good wrestler. Drickers comes from Team CIT, where they literally have this weird style of I would call it press wrestling. In football, you've got the press, high press, all that stuff. They've got this press wrestling. They're not just wrestling you like the guys from Europe. They've got, I don't know what it is, but the point I'm making there is no. I think that would easily counter the wrestling that comes from Dagestan or the Sambo wrestling, like that wrestling that Hamza's got. So I still think that what they're doing there at CIT, that wrestling there, and Dricus's strength, more importantly, is what the difference is between him going up against some, with all due respect to Gustafsson, random heavyweight that's not a wrestler, especially when you're as highly skilled as Hamzat.
Shout out to my boy Dan T. Big up yourself becoming a new member of the channel. Thank you very much, my bro. Big love.
This is where we need Owen's soundboard.
Hope you got home all right. Hope you got home safely, my bro. So
Owen nailed it there. Gus is Hamzat told me. Yeah, I mean, him saying Hamzat ragdoll heavyweights is like us saying Sterling 6'3". You know what I mean?
It's true. You're gonna big up your teammate, but McDane, right off the back of that video there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's not just Hamza that has a fight. Arman also has a fight with Islam, and it's been a mad back and forth one, right? But do you think getting in there with somebody like Hamza, bigger than him, trying to survive, do you think it bodes well for him? Do you think it will help him in the long run against that fight, that all-important fight against Islam? When that
100%. Yeah, I mean, you go like obviously when you watch that footage there, Hamzat was clearly going to dominate him no matter where they go. They're both very high-level grapplers, and then it comes down to the weight and the size, and then obviously the strength for Hamzat as well. Like that was never ever going to go well for Arman. Like not in a million years. Like even wrestling, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, built for the smaller man, whatever. Nah, that wasn't going to work when they're both at the same level. Yeah, I mean, like Hamzat might be that little bit better than him. Bringing it back to the Makhachev and Arman fight, their first fight, it was very, very close. Arman probably could have beat him, almost beat him. You know what I mean? Until he didn't. Like, but this rematch, how different it's going to be? Because I think was that Arman's first or second fight in the UFC, and then you look at how they've both evolved and where they've came across the careers now. What is that going to translate to, and what's it going to look like when they actually go for this rematch? Is it still going to be as close? Has Islam Makhachev come up against some of is it striking's improved leaps and bounds? Yeah, I mean, like the people that he's fought and came up against, how is that gonna show the evolution in his game when he then comes back up against Arman? Arman's not gonna be able to stand and strike with him at the same level, I don't think, because his striking just isn't there as the same level as what Islam has evolved his to. Like it's good, but I think Islam's actually gonna have the edge in the striking this time around. The wrestling may still negate each other, but training with Hamzat, that's only going to be a positive, really. You're going to wrestle with some bigger, stronger guys. You start getting a little leg up every now and again in that, then it's gonna give you the confidence to go in there against Islam, somebody who's on the same weight as you, because Arman's a little tank himself. Like you see him in between fights, man. The dude's solid, like he's chunky. You know what I mean? So obviously they both cut to the same weight, but once they put it back on, there won't be much difference between them. And if he is going to go in there and train against bigger guys, then it's only going to be the benefit to him.
Do you think Khabib weighs anywhere near Hamzat? Do you think
Khabib's on the same level as Daniel Cormier right now? Brother's up about 300 pounds. You know what I mean? Like,
bro. Come on, man. This is where, you know what? Right, I went fishing for it, and I got what I deserved. I shouldn't have asked. It was a wrong word to ask, man. Olin, where are you, man? Olin should be asking that question, man. You know what I mean? That question was for Olin, man. You know what I mean?
Owen knows, bro. McDane's spitting facts. See? That wasn't about Hamzat and Arman. That was about Khabib being 300 pounds
that's
plus.
that bullshit.
Yeah,
that bullshit, man. That's that bullshit right there. You know what I mean? But hey, listen, I totally agree with you guys. You know what I mean? I know when when you're out training, or even just being in the same cage as somebody like Hamza, it can only be good for Armin, right? But the other side of the coin that I was looking for Hamza here is, and Yao hit the nail on the head. These are the kind of things that he gets up to, because I see it as him trying to stay active, but then these are the things that gets him back into the injury,
postpone
where
that meeting,
he ends up pulling out of fights. Say that again.
I was speaking to Owen on the reply. Go on, sorry, don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah. So these are the things that gets him to end up pulling out of fights like Yao said. And I'm praying, I hope this fight between him and Dricos happens, because I really rooting for Dricos here, rooting for CIT. I want him to take this home, and I believe this. Yeah, no, I was gonna say I believe this is a bigger fight for Dricos than the easy fight. I truly believe that. I think the reason why I say that is because of the new fans that Dricos is going to amass from taking out somebody like a Hamza. He's going to take all the Middle Eastern fans. He's taking them all. Once he puts Hamza away once and for, because nobody else has really been able to do it. Usman tried. He didn't have 5 rounds. If he had 5 rounds, he gets it done. Gilbert tried. He didn't really have 5 rounds. You know what I mean? These guys have tried, right? And these guys are real 170s. It's about to make a proper 185er, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, and you man are right.
I know this is a
Gustafsson was glazing it. You man are right that Gustafsson was glazing it, because obviously that's his teammate, right? But when he really gets in there with somebody that really got something to fight for, like a Dricos that we've spoken to so many times, and he says, listen, I'm ready to die in here. These mans don't understand how much I'm ready to die until they feel it. They don't know. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I just want to see that. I can't wait to see that fight. Yao, first, you wanted to say something before I come to my game.
Yeah, so when McDane was speaking to Olin in the chats, if Sterling was here, Sterling, if you're listening, we miss you. He would have said,
McDane, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you interrupting the man whilst he's speaking?
Motherfucker, Scottish motherfucker.
We're gonna get
how it would have gone. That's exactly how it would have gone. I'm going to interrupt you all again anyway. Like, if the freak accident of that man's fucking teeth never snapping back, or his jawline fracturing, forcing his teeth, I would have loved to have seen how that Rob Whittaker fight played out. It was a freak injury. Like, fair enough, it was due to the actual, like, the strength and the squeeze of Hamza.
He explains why he tapped so fast.
I know it does, like, because when it happened, we were like, why did he tap that quick? Like, what the fuck? Like, he was on the way to surviving that first round, which was everybody's prediction of survive the first round with Hamza and then start putting the work in him.
Put it on him.
And if that never happened, bro, like, I would have loved to see over 5 rounds, like you said. Usman never had 5 rounds, neither did Gilbert. They both put it on him. Rob would have done. I'm still sitting on this hill and I'm going to die in it. Rob would have done the same if that freak accident never happened. But here we are.
I mean, like we said, we've seen some of these guys that we know are capable of putting it on him. But there's one other guy that we're about to see that we know is capable of putting it on him. But he has to make the walk. Shout out to making the walk. Big up yourself, Jax. He has to make the walk to the cage. He has to make the walk to the octagon on fight day for us to actually get to see that. So, yeah, I think we've done a good number on that clip there. The second clip that Leroy has put together for us here. Big up, Leroy. This one here, I don't know how to take it. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know what? Let's hit the clip and see how you might take it, then I'll give my take. Let's go.
Anthony Smith explains why he doesn't give a fuck about winning anymore. In a matchup between 2 former light heavyweight title challengers, Smith is slated to take on Dominic Reyes at UFC 310. During Wednesday's media day, Smith said that he's fighting for a different reason when he steps into the octagon Saturday night. 3 weeks ago, Anthony's longtime friend and coach, Scott Morton, suddenly passed away, and Lionheart is looking for an outlet.
The smallest thing that Scott was to me was a coach. He was like my mentor, my big brother, and I've never lived as an adult without Scott guiding me through life. So this fighting shit is really fake at the end of the day. It's this big dog and pony show. Like, I don't really give a shit about any of that. Like I said, I didn't come here to win. I need to destroy something. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. It might be myself. Like, maybe I run into a fucking buzzsaw and leave not the same way I came here, and I'm good with that too. I went to fight Alexander Gustafsson right after I fought John Jones, and I didn't go there to win either. I wanted to punch someone in the face because I felt so shitty about losing the title fight. Saturday, I want to break something, and this is my outlet. I can't do what I really want to do inside anywhere else with no consequences. That's why I'm here. I don't give a about winning at all. Not even a little bit. I haven't even thought about it. I want to break something, and then here's where I get to do.
Okay, number one, condolences to him and his mate that passed away 3 weeks ago. It's never easy losing a close mate, let alone somebody that's been in and around him near enough all his life, right? So I prefix it with that, but I want to get both of your takes, and I'm going to come to Magdalene first on this one, right? On Anthony Smith, because we've seen what other fighters think about him, and it's dread to have to bring it up in this instance, but it's the quote of saying, I don't give a fuck about winning anymore. The problem is, from the accusations that's been levied at him, has he really given a fuck about winning? Because the last time I checked, and when I really knew that this guy don't give a fuck about winning, was when he let John Jones off that disqualification thing. That's when I knew, oh boy, this guy ain't Sterling. He ain't moving like Aljamain Sterling out here, bro. You know what I mean? You take that DQ win, especially when it's a title from somebody like a John Jones. You take it, and you get on that pay-per-view points and whatever else that you got to get. You never know. You might beat him up in a rematch, just like Aljo did it against Yan. Have more time to prepare and all that stuff. And they say when you're a champion, you just get that 30%, 20% extra levels, you know what I mean, in confidence and everything else that you do, right? But like I said, I prefix, what happened with his friend with it. But where do you see this whole I don't give a fuck about winning no more? Is this situation kind of like a right way to really throw that word out there when you've been acting like it before this happened? And so, this is where I'm coming from again. Please speak.
I know what you're saying. So again, like you say, condolences to Anthony Smith and everybody involved, all the family and friends of the man that passed away. It's a shame, and happening just before the fight. I first heard of this on BYM Pod a couple of days ago when I listened to that with the Paul Felder one, and Mike brought it up. I did think, how's this going to affect Anthony? Obviously, he's win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Bit of a losing streak there as well recently, and taking a lot of short notice fights and going in probably not with the right mindset, probably not enough time to train. And I thought, how is this one really going to affect him going in there? And like he said there, I mean, he's not thought about winning, and he doesn't give a shit. It doesn't cross his mind. He wants to go in there and break something, even if that's himself. So it's tough. There's two ways you can go about it. It's like, right, when I heard Mike talk about it the other day, I thought, like, do you really, like, if you're going to be making, again, it's not, I'm not applying bets or anything like that to like a man's life, but if you're looking at it from that point of view, who pick you're making, would you have been picking Smith, knowing that this is the mental state that he's in and this is where he's going to win this fight? But then when you hear him say things like that, this could be that thing that he just goes in there, doesn't care and doesn't overthink things, and just he's looking to destroy somebody. Yeah, I mean, like, he could still go in there and get the fight. He could still go in there and get the win. And I'm sure after the fact, and he's been able to use that as something to vent with and process his emotions and everything, he'll probably be like, yeah, I'm happy with the win. Or after it, once he's used it to process whatever he's going through, like his grief, then he'll be like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have took the fight. Because I think Mike was thinking he wouldn't take the fight given that had happened as well. And he said, but surprisingly, he's still fighting. Probably not use those words, but yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, it's funny where his headspace is at there. He doesn't care, but he's also not caring if it's detrimental to himself too, which you've always heard him talk in the past about getting out before he does any damage to himself as a longevity thing. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see where his mindset's at on that one. And on that note, boys, I need to go and help the missus quickly. So I'll leave you two to talk about this, and I'll be back as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah, man. Let's come to you till Magden gets back. I mean, when you look at this topic here, like I said, prefixing it with condolences and tragic thing that that's happened to him, close friend, somebody's known near enough all his life, or at least all his young adult life to adult life, right? But this man says he doesn't give a fuck about winning. How much could that damage, or like you said, use it as a catalyst to go into war? Because people lose people all the time and still go and fight, and they use it as some kind of motivation, some kind of dedication, that when I get this win, I'm going to dedicate it to them, that sort of stuff. But we've also heard a lot of people, plenty of people, right? And I'm talking fighters. This ain't even fans. Forget us fans that don't actually, go in the cage and put in the work that they do, right? We're talking other fighters that knows what it's like to be in there, and they say he quit. They say he quit every single time he goes in there, man. You know what I mean? They say he ain't lion hurt. He ain't lion hurt. You know what I mean? Like he's rocking that name, and he doesn't deserve to rock that name, right? And even Rampage Jackson, I remember seeing his clip the other day, and he was having a go at Dillashaw that you cost me and my friend Anthony Smith of our friendship because of what you said on my podcast. And obviously TJ Dillashaw was one of the people that says, outwardly came out and said, my man always quit in almost every fight. Now, what's your take on somebody that is been labeled always quits, isn't a lion's heart, and now talking about, I don't care about winning, albeit we know what's just happened to his friend, right? But we've also seen fighters that's lost people. They've never come out and say, I don't care about winning. They actually want to win so that they can dedicate that fight to their loved lost ones. What's your take on it, brother?
57 fights. Lionheart. 57 fights. He's been fighting since 2008 professionally. Just because he has a different motivation, he's ranked number 13 in the light heavyweight division. Just because he's very emotional about it and he has the different motivation to fight, doesn't mean, well, look, it doesn't mean that he quits. He's gone 57 fights and he keeps going. That means he's not necessarily quitting. Although I will say the one thing is, I just think he should retire. 57 fights, but he's 36. He still maybe got a few more to go.
So you think he should quit? You think he should quit while he's ahead? What are you saying, Yao? Please talk to me.
I'm saying I respect the fact that he's got 57 fights, right? But at the end of the day, if we see how he lost to Johnny Walker, who we know has the glassest of chins, and calling Johnny Walker out for his family, like the things you said about my family, Johnny Walker's like, what? If we look at, he's beaten Ryan Spann twice. That's commendable. So if I look at it, look, he's someone who just loves to fight. Fighting is a passion. Fighting is his outlet. So for him to say, listen, whether I win or lose, I'm out there to fight. I'm here to do what I love, to give you guys a show. And if I win, I climb up the rankings. If I don't, well, like someone who cared or didn't care, I will go up or down. But I'm here to fight. So, I don't see it too negatively. It's just that, the one thing for me is from a Dana White perspective, if you have a ranked fighter saying, listen, I'm not here to climb the ladder. I'm literally just here to be Jim Miller. We all love Jim Miller, but we want to see people who are contending for the title in a ranked position, because then, we know what we're looking at. So for me, that's really the only issue is, you don't want a ranked fighter not having the passion to climb up. Yeah, continue to fight. We have no problem. Come fight anyone. Come fight anytime. But it's a bit of a problem when a ranked fighter says that.
Yeah, look, I see where you're coming from. And I take your points on board, right? Here's the issue that I have, and believe it or not, I already picked Anthony Smith to win this fight. Anyways, Magdane in here. Hopefully, he didn't hear that.
You know how the MMA gods are.
I've already picked him to win this fight, right? So this is just me playing devil's advocate. You know what I mean? 'Cause I respect the hell out of what he's done for the sport, what he's done in the sport, right? As per his own resume, right? The only exception that I've taken against him, I mentioned it earlier on, is that John Jones fight. And clearly it got to him because he didn't take no breaks and wanted to go and fight Alexander Gustafsson straight after. He mentioned it himself. So, he must have been pissed off as much as I was pissed off for him. You know what I mean? And at him for not, like, at least play the game a little, you know? Anybody else would have done that. If that was him in that position, you know, and he DQ'd somebody, they're taking your belt, mate. Like, this is not a joke thing. So, but for him, he obviously decided to go that path, and he kept his integrity, which obviously, you know, it weighs a lot on the scales to him. Like, my integrity over a championship career win, even though you really did get, you know what I mean, get a DQ shot put on you, which is against the rules. But coming away from all of that, when you look at his whole career and what he's given to combat sports, what he's given to the UFC and MMA as a whole, 57 fights is not a joke thing, you know. So I respect it a lot, and like I said, condolences to him and the people that really knows this guy, everybody that's connected to him, condolences to them. It's a tough situation to deal with, but again, having that mindset of just wanting to come and destroy something, wanting to come and just break somebody, and not even giving a fuck. I don't know how a fight like that might turn out, right? But his opponent in Dominic Reyes, you've seen what's happened to his career as well. It's kind of like, since, I want to say, was it the Thiago Santos fight? I think it might have been the Thiago Santos fight. It's been kind of downhill for Dominic Reyes since then. You know what I mean? It's been kind of downhill, and I don't know if something like this. Yeah, big up yourself, Jack. Salute to you, man. Just literally mentioned you as well not too long ago. Salute to you, my bro. Hope your meeting went well. So when you look at Gustafsson, when you look at Anthony Smith and Dominic Reyes, I think he's coming into a good fight. This is a good fight for Anthony Smith, for the state of mind that he's in. I'm now that I know what I know now, I'm glad he's not fighting somebody that's probably like a better fighter than a Dominic Reyes, if you know what I mean, which gives him a very, very good chance of getting the victory. How do you actually think that fight pans out between those two guys, if you don't mind me asking?
Look, it's tricky. I mean, we've got Reyes, who's 13-4, Smith 37-20, but you've got Reyes. It was actually after the John Jones fight, similar to Lionheart, after he lost the title shot against John Jones. That's when his career took a bit of a dip, and I think that's when he got quite a few of those 4 losses on his record, because he was coming in basically as an undefeated fighter. So if I look at that, you know, he's still got a lot of fight in him. Lionheart's been fighting for a long time, so that's a lot of damage, a lot of injuries. You know, your jaw is not quite there. They're almost the same age, 34 and 36. So it's tricky, but I think I'm going to go with you and say Anthony Smith gets this one. I think he's going to manage to, you know, add to his 20 KOs. You know, he's got 20 KOs and 15 submissions in his 38 wins. So I think another KO is probably going to come. I think Reyes is just going to not have the edge for the experience as much as Lionheart's coming in angry. I think he's going to come in focused.
Okay, yeah. I was more thinking submission actually. I don't think Reyes. If Anthony Smith puts it together very, very well, I don't think Reyes has any answer for Smith Jiu-Jitsu. I don't think he has it, but only time will tell. We're going to see this weekend. Okay, let's get on to the other clip that Leroy put together for us, and this one is a little bit close to my heart as well, and again is in the form of at least rallying round our favorite fighters, especially when they need. Check this out, people.
Nick Diaz gets offered help from a former rival. Diaz's UFC comeback has been postponed after he withdrew from his fight against Vicente Luque at UFC 310. The decision came after footage of Diaz attempting to light a piece of grass on fire went viral, sparking rumors of drug use and concerns for his health. His girlfriend later confirmed that Diaz is struggling with drug addiction, although he and his team have remained silent. Now, unexpectedly, Diaz's former rival, Jason Mayhem Miller, has offered to help. The two were famously involved in a chaotic Strikeforce brawl in 2010, where Miller was attacked by Diaz's team for entering the cage and asking for a rematch. Now, cooler heads have prevailed, with Miller offering support to his former rival. During a recent interview with Helen E, Jason said, "We all saw what we saw. I won't dwell on it too bad, but I think that people in Nick's life need to gather around. Anybody who ever made some money off him needs to come circle around and help this guy out. We had our beef or whatever since we were kids, but that doesn't stop me from extending a helping hand to this guy if he needs it. If he's not ready to take a helping hand, then you all need to keep on him." The people close to him, his brother, his family, friends, all of young guys that made money off of him, he needs you now. That's not talking bad on him. It's just a tough sport we're in, and it's easy to get tripped up in the wrong things. Super easy, and it's even harder to come up out of that. So my advice is not for him, it's for all the people around him to help him to get to a better place in his life. Meanwhile, Nick posted new training footage as he works to get back in shape.
Nick Diaz, we've just seen what's happening with him there. I don't know what the hell that was about, but what did you make of that clip? I mean, from what you see, him doing, trying to set the grass on fire, and on top of that, Mayhem coming to his aid there and trying to rally people around. Say, look, if you've ever fucked with Nick before, if Nick is your guy, if you've made money off this guy, if he's helped you out in some way, shape, or form, now is the time to come and repay him, rally around him, and get him out of this rut. What are you saying?
Firstly, when I saw that clip of Nick lighting the grass, I thought it was either AI or, like seeing a Yeti. You see the video, but is it real? Because it didn't make sense.
I just thought it ran out of weed to smoke, but hey, that's just
lighting the barrel.
But please continue.
Hearing that it's true makes you think about, fighter health outside of fighting. And the fact that his girlfriend confirmed it, or his partner confirmed it, it makes it troubling. And I think that's obviously now why Mayhem Miller has said, let's rally around Nick. Now, as Making the Walk is saying there, shout out Antoine, Jax, it's crazy that it's coming from Mayhem Miller, someone who is rather wild back in the day, an entire brawl, a former rival, someone who you thought they had bad blood, has now come back and is actually trying to help Nick out. I hope it works because we know how drug addiction is. It can be problematic and it's not normally an instant solution. There usually isn't an instant solution. So I hope he's not just there for the short term. I hope he's actually there for the actual journey that it takes to bring someone back from addiction, because it is something that is very serious. So shout out to him definitely for looking out for someone in the MMA community, despite their past, despite any rivalries, and actually trying to get them back into shape. And lastly, seeing him on the bag was wasn't comfortable. He still hits hard, but whoever's gonna fight him might just kill him. He shouldn't get back in the cage.
Yeah, man. He definitely didn't look right hitting the back there. You know what I mean? Hitting the spitball, he kind of looked all right. He got that flow, he got that rhythm. Hitting the spitball, as we saw in that clip there. But the back there, I don't know, as you know how that's looking. But talking about mental health, and mental health is something that we're very, very strong on this platform, and we speak to all different kind of fighters about it, how things affect them, the state of mind that they're in before they go into fights, when they finish fights, how they take the fight. Some people take it real bad. Some people, it could just be financial. It could just be just crazy day-to-day hustle and bustle of just trying to make it and make a name for yourself. But also these people that have really, really made it, right? And I'm talking about somebody like a Nick Diaz, very, very popular. He lives a better life than the average person. You also think to yourself, money doesn't buy everything, and health is wealth. And in this case, like Mayhem Miller said, I mean, all the fan just said it. You don't fucked up when Mayhem Miller says you need help. Like when this guy say you need help, then there's something serious that you need to change about what you about how you're carrying yourself and how you're conducting yourself. And this Nate and Nick have they, at least to me from the outside looking in, they move like two peas in a pod, right? So for Mayhem Miller to actually call out Nick there and say, "Yo, go and look after your brother, man." You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? Why is your brother out here spazzing out like this? You take care of your brother. That's telling me that is there something going on between both of them? Are they not aligning? Are they, is there I mean, families, they have beef all the time, right? But it's never really been out there like that with the Diaz brothers. You know what I mean? When they they come as a package, man. And with this one here, I don't see personally. I personally don't want to see Nick fight again, right? I didn't think his last fight really looked great either. You know what I mean? I don't want to see him back in the cage. I don't know about
Nick or Nate or both.
No. I'd see Nate back in the cage. Oh yeah. The reason why Nate left was more UFC wouldn't do what he wanted, not because he's washed from fighting. Like Nate can still fight. He can still get down in the octagon. You know what I mean? It's just more of giving him what he wants so he's able to compete under the UFC banner, right? Which is why
before the drugs.
Say that again.
He could throw down before the drugs, but we just saw a clip, and I know you can get back to it, but if you're there and you're looking at maybe fighting within, well, it was previously within this year, or maybe call it the next 3 to 4 months. If you're looking like that now, I don't know. I don't know if he's there. The drugs do a lot of damage.
Jax just made an evil, scarier point here. I didn't even think this way, but this is a great point that Jax has just brought up. Even scarier thing is if they are aligning, and Nate fucked up too behind the scenes, and we ain't even seeing it, bro. You know what I mean? That's even scarier because I still think Nate got a lot of stock in his, on his CV, in his name, in on his career. I still think there's a lot of stock there. I still think there's value there. I still think fans want to see him compete at the highest level, even if he's just putting legacy fights together because of the mileage, that he's had in the sport. But at the same time, what if this has been going on with him and Nate's just keeping it under wraps? I don't even know where to go with this thought process here. But Jackson just thrown the curveball really into this conversation there, man. Salute to you, Jax, because this could be happening to both of them right now, and it's just something that if Mayhem Miller is talking about it, then bro, you really need to go and get that shit fixed. You need to go. You need help. He needs that help, and I think he needs it fast. I really, really do. So, Big up yourself, Jax, for that one. Let's get that next clip. Okay, yeah, we got one more clip before before I drop this last one here, but that one there is just funny to me. But this one here is a more somber one, and I want to get your thoughts on this one. Yeah. Let's go.
An MMA fighter passes away after winning a 3-round bout. 33-year-old Trokan Dosua died after fighting a 3-round bout at the community center in Enoch, a First Nation community on Edmonton's western outskirts. The mixed martial arts event organized by Ultra MMA was called off shortly after Dosua was carried out of the ring. The card, which featured more than 30 novice fighters, was billed as a chance for beginners to compete in the sport. Trokan won the fight and didn't take much damage, but has trained only 8 weeks leading up to the fight. Also, weigh-ins were the same day as fight night. The death has prompted calls for an inquiry into how fighter safety was maintained at the match and raised questions about how combative sports are regulated in Alberta, Canada. Dosua's death is now under review by the province, in tandem with an ongoing investigation by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Bro, this is one of the topics. I'm sorry to cut you off earlier on, man, as I was dropping the clip. But this one here, it's more about those up and coming fighters. You know what I mean? Because obviously this ain't in one of them well-known promotions. Up until I didn't even hear about this up until I saw it on the clip, right? But when they're talking about regulating fights and what the commission has got to do, and you know, having a tough, really, really bad weight cut, and the things it can lead to, he won his fight, but ultimately, I mean, he lost his life. And condolences to him and his family, Tronkan. You know, it's a sad one to see. It's a sad one for the sport, right? But what do you think this you know, lower promotions and the commissions got to do to prevent something like this happening? Because obviously, even if it's not us, we got nephews, we got nieces, we got family members that love this sport, that want to go in this sport, and they see something like this and they're thinking, oh, maybe not. You know, what do they got to do to convince people this is a safe sport to actually be in?
You know, for me, that one's a little bit tricky simply because of the facts at hand. We see soccer players falling and collapsing and dying all the time because they have existing heart conditions that you just can't diagnose. It's one of those things. So with this one, until we really know what happened, it's tricky to say that it was caused by MMA, by the weigh-ins, by a weight cut. We're not really sure. However, fighter safety is important. A lot of techniques or a lot of methods can be followed to make sure. So, for example, not having your weigh-ins on the same day. That is risky because then there's no time to hydrate. There's no time to get better before you actually fight. So that is a very, very basic thing that can lead to fighter safety. Then obviously having doctors check your fighters prior to fights, you know, basic checkup. But that's why I'm saying, unless we know the actual reason, we can't really tell, because they could have followed all of those processes and it still could have happened because, like I'm saying, existing heart condition, or if they didn't do, the doctors didn't do their pre-checks, and they wouldn't have known if he had a concussion from playing American football 2 months before and he's still within the concussion zone, something. So I think finding out exactly what the reason was is very important, because it might not be that it's MMA or MMA's processes that led to that. It could be from something else, but nonetheless, condolences to his family, especially after winning the fight. Then you get carried out of the cage, and it's absolutely tragic. But I think, yeah, it is very important to find out what the reason was, so that if it is related to the fact that it's MMA, and we can call it an MMA death, then yes, procedures and protocols should be put in place to prevent it. But unless we find out what the real reasons were, it's very tricky to say it was due to the weight cuts or etc. etc.
No, well said, man, well said. And big up my boy Lee Gunner. Lee Gunner has just raided up the chat, man. Salute to you, my bro. Big up yourself. We see some Lee Raid coming in. Okay, and look, I'm with what you said there in terms of, you know, we need to know for certain that it's got to do with MMA. Number one, we need to know that, you know, protocols when being broken, everything was, you know, was being put in place properly. And this is a crazy one, because to go in, win your fight, get carried out like that, it looked crazy. It looked crazy. It looked crazy. Big up everybody in the chat as you lot coming in. I see you, Rajan. Salute to you, Froggy, George, Timmy, Scott Whelan. Big up yourself. Hope you're good. It's an hola, bro. Who you got, Ian or Shafkat? You know what? Quick early one for you. Quick early one for you, Shafkat. I'm going with Shafkat, man. Big up yourself. AZ and Mateus, big up yourself. Thank you very much for pulling up, people. Salute
Is that the end of the show?
Yeah. They're still rolling. They're still rolling. And we were just talking about that clip. I don't know if you saw it. Maybe you were watching in the background, but I can play it back for you so we can get your taste.
Yeah, go for it. And I'm literally just back and never seen it at all.
Yeah, we'll play it back so you can get your take on it. Yeah.
Shout out the
An MMA fighter passes away after winning a 3-round bout. 33-year-old Trokan Dosua died after fighting a 3-round bout at the community center in Enoch, a First Nation community on Edmonton's western outskirts. The mixed martial arts event organized by Ultra MMA was called off shortly after Dosua was carried out of the ring. The card, which featured more than 30 novice fighters, was billed as a chance for beginners to compete in the sport. Trokan won the fight and didn't take much damage, but has trained only 8 weeks leading up to the fight. Also, weigh-ins were the same day as fight night. The death has prompted calls for an inquiry into how fighter safety was maintained at the match and raised questions about how combative sports are regulated in Alberta, Canada. Dosua's death is now under review by the province in tandem with an ongoing investigation by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah.
How did he die?
That's kind of what we were literally just talking about.
Is what we were just literally talking
Was
about.
he was getting carried out of the cage at the end?
Yeah, what happened though? What happened that I know is not regular in MMA is having a weight cut on the same day of the fight.
Right.
That
Okay.
did see happen. You know, but we don't know whether that has anything to do with cause or death until we have like
weigh in on the Friday fight on the Friday or something, or
yeah. That and the one is
wild.
fight as well. And the one is fight as well. You know what I mean? Didn't get a chance to properly rehydrate or anything like that.
Wild. And then he's gone into hospital straight after the fight and passed away. Oh man, what a shame.
Yeah.
What
absolutely
a shame.
Tragic. Real tragic.
Yeah, I know there's some promotions out there that do that, the whole weight cut on fight day, and like that's just wild. That is wild. You are not just allowing their body to like rehydrate and get back into the shape that they need to go in and actually fight. That's crazy. What promotion was it?
It's in Canada. They didn't say.
Right, okay. I heard it say it was in Edmonton.
In Enoch, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe Leroy knows.
I don't know. Edmonton's is that next to? No, it's not that close to Montreal. I don't think. I know in Winnipeg they've got an Enoch Center. It's like a shopping center called St. Enoch's. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. Maybe it does. But yeah, what a shame, man. That's horrible.
Yeah, and like Yao says here, you know, what I mean, surely weighing in on the same day as the fight, that can be right. You know what I mean? Especially when we know how brutal weight cuts can be, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We you know, we've seen it, we've talked to fighters, so many fighters that's been through this stuff. This shit is brutal, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And but condolences to him, RIP to Tronka, and you know, condolences to his family and his loved ones, man. And hopefully, you know what I mean, we'll try and keep our ears to the ground to see exactly what ended up happening. But I think there has to be rules to be put in place if it's anything to do with MMA to try and stop that sort of thing happening, man. You know what I mean? It's
the missus must have been tuning in. She's just messaged me saying the Enoch Centre's in Glasgow. Not in Winnipeg. I'm chatting bare shit over here. Bare shit.
Not that Enoch. You know, it's a different
Well,
Enoch
no,
over here,
because
man.
obviously a lot of places in Canada are based off of places in Glasgow, like Nova Scotia
Oh,
is
so
New
you
Scotland.
know what? You've been,
I mean?
you've
So
been before, haven't you? You've been before, haven't
it probably is. It probably is something to do with whatever's here in Scotland. To fuck, I'm gonna have to go and have to have a look at that.
Yeah, man. You've been
That's
before,
funny.
man. So
I just got fact checked by the missus live on stream.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. Big up the missus. Okay, we got one more clip to go before we get out of here. And big love to everybody that's rolled in. Big up the Lee Raid. Salute to you, my bro. Big love. Thank you very much for that. Right, we got one more clip before we get
after
out
that
of here.
2-0 win, did they? Yeah, I'm glad I was away when they rolled up.
Oh yeah, the Gunners are here, bro. Come on, what are you talking about?
Darren Till calls out footballers. Ever since leaving the UFC, it has been clear that Darren Till is hunting for a big payday. In his next outing, the former welterweight title challenger is set to battle with Tommy Fury inside of the boxing ring. In the eyes of many, he's going to be the next MMA victim to get rocked in the ring after venturing over to the sport of boxing. Till's also recently called out Manchester United legends such as Cristiano Ronaldo and 49-year-old Gary Neville. In an interview with Norsk Bet Insider, Till said, "Gary Neville, because me and him have had Twitter beef, he doesn't like me, got a little bit of beef with Gary. I don't hate the guy, but yeah, it'd probably be Gary Neville or Cristiano Ronaldo, because he seems like a big tough fellow, Cristiano. I'd like to see his speed and power, seems like a very explosive man. He's obviously ripped to the gills, isn't he? You know, he doesn't drink Coca-Cola or anything like that. I need to take a leaf out of his book."
I need to take a leaf out of Darren Till's book. Off the back of beating Manchester United 2-0 yesterday, these fuckers here, they want to call us Set Piece FC, Stoke FC. Big up on yourself, all the Gunners in the house right now. Big up on yourself, yeah? They want to call us all this FC, all that FC. But Darren Till is just gone up in my estimation. He's just gone up in my book. Just want you to beat up old United players, man. You know what I mean? Just the fact he wants to beat up old United players, that he's gone up in my estimation, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, before we come to, because McDane is just gonna talk rubbish, blood. You know what I mean? But I want to hear from Yao, how Yao was feeling about that win yesterday. You know what I mean? He knew we were gonna be insufferable today. We just had to get it to the end point, man. You know what I mean?
Aussie fight fans spitting facts there, you know.
But big up yourself. Yao, what did you make of the thing there yesterday and what Darren Till is just saying here about beating up Gary Neville? Because I'll pay to see Gary Neville get beat up any day of the week.
Forget about that thing yesterday. And let's just focus on the Darren Till clip.
Especially by Darren Till. You know what I mean? I'll pay to get Gary Neville beat up any day, man. What are you talking? Say something to the people there.
First of all, shout out Arsenal. That 2-0 win, look, McDane, say what you want, but that corner huddle that we have, like it's American football, and then they break. I'm like, oh yes, so exciting, amazing win. Then Liverpool drew 3-3. I mean, it was a great night, fantastic night. Sure, City won, doesn't matter. Great night. Darren Till,
daddy duties. I need to go, boys.
Let's go, y'all.
I think Darren Till had a very interesting choice of United players that he wants to beat up. Gary Neville, 49-year-old Gary Neville, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Although the Ronaldo matchup is very interesting because we saw him in Ngannou's corner. So maybe he will then be trained by Ngannou like Tyson trained Ngannou, and then you have this whole mini like Tyson, Ngannou, Ronaldo training thing happening, and then he goes out and actually beats Darren Till. That would be super amazing. But I like the fact that he's targeting United players. I agree. He should go for them. Although I'd like him to pull in maybe Harry Kane, although Harry Kane's not retired, so he wouldn't fight right now. But, go and beat up a Tottenham player that thinks that they love Tottenham enough. Just Kyle Walker, former Tottenham
what weight
player.
class? Come on, in what world are you going to get fat Darren Till?
Number one, he got no beef.
I mean?
He got no beef with Tottenham fans. He got beef with United fucking players, though, man. You know what I mean? He got beef with United players, man. He's a scouser, bruv. You know what I mean? So you know how that's set. You already know how that's set, man. That's why he's at that Twitter beef level, man. You know what I mean? But McDane, let's come to you. What are you saying about Darren Till coming after your legends like this, man? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like I was a David Beckham fanboy when I was younger. Like, so see when Cristiano Ronaldo turned up and started trying to steal the spotlight and things started going sour with Beckham because of that little rat. I've never liked CR7, even as a United fan. I've never been a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo. No matter how many goals he scored for us, I did not like him one little bit. It was, I don't know what it was. I just never supported him at all. But yeah, Darren Till, mate, if he wants to go out and make his money, Tommy Fury's an interesting fight. That's a decent matchup. As for going up against Cristiano Ronaldo, that ain't ever going to happen. Like I said, you got fat Darren Till and you got skinny Ronaldo. Like, you're never going to see that. There ain't even going to be a catch weight in a million years. I don't think Ronaldo knows how to fight his own shadow anyway. You know what I mean? Like, every time he scores a goal, he tries to run away from it. Like,
but Gary Neville
even turns his back in his own shadow when he jumps and celebrates. You know what I mean?
But Gary Neville, though, on the other hand,
hey, Gary Neville's a loud mouth, a loud mouth little dude.
Right, is going to help him.
Yeah, man. I mean, he'll set him up, and he'll get it. Gary Neville will be sitting there seeing that, going,
"Bro, did you see Roy Keane last week calling somebody and saying, let's meet up in the car park? Yeah, meet me in the fucking car park." Roy Keane was
old boy still got it, you know. Old boy still got it. Like, he is not scared to throw down.
Meet me in the fucking car park, blood. You know what I mean? After here, come to the car park. I'll be there waiting for you, bro. I was like, Ross Clark. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. There you go.
But in all seriousness, like, I don't know how far Darren Till is gonna go. It's gonna be some names like it is Tyson Fury. He's gonna try and get this Jake Paul fight, and I don't know if Jake Paul will even humor it. Maybe in another 10 years he might humor it, but we'll see how things play out for Darren Till in the boxing world. Maybe even once Dana starts dipping his toe in a little bit more, Dana might bring him and sign him up. Who knows?
I think if he really kicks Tommy Fury in the head like he's promised everyone, I think Dana brings him back. I think he brings him back. Bro,
I don't think he's ever returned into
the only
MMA.
reason I want to watch that fight. There's no other reason for me.
See if it really happens.
See if it really does it. Or at least attempt to do it. Like, give it a good attempt. Not no idiot attempt. Like a proper attempt to do it. I want to see that. Like, bro, if he does that, for me, he's just going up levels and levels and levels for me, man. Because I've been waiting for an MMA fighter to really go in that ring and put one of these guys in a rear naked choke, a DAS, fucking head kick, kick him in the head. You know what I mean? Do something that boxers weren't expecting, bro.
No. Kick him in the head. I'm like, yes, Darren Till, let's go. That's when he went up.
Who was that boxer a couple of months ago that's been like kicked out of boxing, never allowed to have a boxing fight again in his life because he had kicked some dude and knocked him out cold? Like,
and it was such a beautiful kick.
It was a beautiful head kick. Yeah, I mean, it was like, how can you kick him out of boxing for that? That was fucking spectacular. Yeah, I mean, he was like, fuck this, I'm losing. Whap.
Why is he getting me?
Boy, you know what? There's some names coming up here for footballers that might
Joey Barton,
Darren Till's. That might
all back, no bite. Yeah, I mean, Joey Barton's an absolute.
Someone did put in the chat earlier on about Joey Barton. Somebody did say that earlier on. Still, I think it might be my boy Jamie Mason. Big up yourself, Jamie Mason.
But what Joey Barton are we getting though? Like, what accents?
Thank you so much for. Hey, the one that's betting on the fight. That Joey Barton. The one that's betting on the fight, bruv. You know what I mean? Don't forget it's betting scandals and shit, man. You know what I mean? So
hey, that man moves wild on Twitter these days. Like, that man moves wild on Twitter.
Yeah, man. He's moving like Hopkins on Twitter, bro. Like, he don't give a fuck. That's how he's been moving. Like, he really don't give a damn, man. But big up to everybody that stayed with us tonight, everybody that's rallied with us, everybody that's enjoyed this stream. Make sure you drop in likes. Make sure you're following these guys on the screen. Kick them in the head kick podcast, the Kick Rambling Dad, new dad, loving mother's milk in his new era. You know what I mean? Making the walk. S-Dogs MMA, my boy Sterling. Cross over MMA, my boy Cross. Big up, making the walk, Jax. Salute to every single one of you, man. Make sure you guys are going over there to follow them, and make sure you're dropping likes on this video. We're going to be back on Friday with a prediction show for pay-per-view 310. All right, make sure you come and join us for that one there as well. It's gonna be live, but it's gonna be lit.
For anyone who wants Power Slap 10 is this coming Friday. Watch it on Rumble. We're doing a live stream for that.
There you go,
bro. What do you just before we shoot? I know you just done the whole outro and you're gonna hate it, but that Rumble partnership, come on, boys! Like, what's going on with that?
It's kind of weird, but
it is a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, Rumble have been talking about having no money and all the rest of the stuff, and you've got people you've got influencers coming from Kick signing up with Rumble, and it seems like they're trying to move. Seems like they're trying to do something, but. Especially with that power slap shit. And you see that clip with Dana White too, with that OnlyFans chick fucking selling, trying to like give a car away. Bro, what is happening? What is going on? What world do we live in? She smashed the fucking, what was her name? Shit, I can't remember. She smashed the car window. No, not Paige Van Zandt. Some other fucking chick. Like smashed the car window with a crowbar, and then he's wheeling her around in a fucking suitcase. You don't see that? Well, I'll find it.
Yeah, man, send it to me. All right, people. Big up to all of you. Thank you very much. Big love, and we'll be back on Friday with our prediction show, which is tomorrow, really. Incidentally, yeah, tomorrow. Make sure you're back here. Keep it locked on the Fight Week show, the Rambling Dad Head Kick Podcast. Big love, people. We're out of here.